Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It is Wednesday morning, early, that I am recording this. So, pretty much what we're going to be looking at today, apologies if I stumbled too much, is the Hall of Forms revival voting. If you don't know, I cover the Forging Bonds revivals as well. They have pretty much introduced Hall of Forms revivals in the same fashion, and so I thought I will cover them in the same fashion because, why not? It makes sense, right? And I think they are happening relatively the same way. If you're somehow not in the loop, you do have a little under 2 days left to vote on this. They're bringing back Hall of Forms groups, just like they do Forging Bonds. They're voting on Twitter. They're taking the total number of votes between the EN and JP accounts, right? And so what I did was I took all the numbers and I put them in the fancy sheet, and I spit out the answers of who's coming back and who is not. And who's winning. Obviously, that's also probably the thing that you're most concerned about. I don't see any documentation anywhere about if the middle two, the second and third runner-ups are going to come back in the next poll, but I assume that they would. So again, if I missed the documentation somewhere, that's on me. But I'm just going to operate under the assumption that it works exactly the way Forging Bonds revivals do, and that means that, one will win, one will lose, middle two coming back for the next poll that happens whenever. This is kind of uncharted territory at the moment, so there's a little bit left to the imagination. But this time we are looking at Leg Yarn group, Spring Palo group, Ball and Silica group, and Larce group. And I know what you're thinking. Wow, that's really hard to differentiate. Well, I think the greatest travesty is the fact that they didn't give cool names. So I did it for them. Group 1 is now officially Bride Fjorm Plus. Group 2 is Spring Whitewings. Group 3 is Fallen Valentia. And Group 4 will thus be known as Astra Genealogy. No, you're welcome. Bringing light into your lives every single day. So here we go. As of the official recording, I used screen grabs here. Okay, just so that the numbers wouldn't be terribly thrown off. Total number of votes is a little over 26,100, 16,900 or so coming from the EN account, 9,100 or so coming from the JP account. So we took the percentages again per the screen grabs that I took when I started cranking out these numbers, and then these guys are basically being multiplied by the total number. Yeah, makes sense. Okay, it's the same thing I do for Fortune Bonds, so it shouldn't be too terribly surprising. And then we have the poll totals, which is actually what dictates who's coming back when, right? Makes sense. And hopefully these two numbers are relatively pretty close, but they can be slightly different due to rounding errors. You're working with percentages to the 10th, right? But this whole numbers, so like round ups, round downs, but relatively close. We're within 9 total votes, so it's not going to be enough to sway anything anyway, because we are literally separated by thousands here. This was no contest. This was no contest. There's a cool 1,500 votes between first and second place, which kind of crazy. So the TLDR, if you're interested, Bride Fjorm Plus is coming back, aka Group 1. They will get a rerun for sure. I don't think anything's going to beat them at this point within 2 days left of voting. I think we've had about 4 days worth of voting already. maybe 3 plus a couple hours. More than likely, we're going to see Fallen Valentia and Astra Genealogy coming back. That's groups 3 and 4. Unfortunately, Spring Whitewings will not be coming back, which means I don't get a shiny new Spring Pala with all of the dope skills that now exist. In fact, I'm pretty sure the last time Spring Pala was in the Hall of Forms thing, Trace skills did not exist yet. So, could be wrong about that. Maybe I just didn't get that on her, but pretty sure. Pretty sure. There's a lot of... this was like, when Spring Pal was around, this was the era of flyers getting absolutely dunked on constantly with passives. So at least now they have, like, flight skills, right? And trace and things like that, but bummer. There's no catching up, by the way. Like, these may swap, you know, but they're, at the end of the day, they're still second and third. I don't think anything's catching Bride Fjorm Plus. Spring Whitewings are dead. they are DOA, my friends. So it feels bad. It feels bad. But these are the intrinsic rules that we have set forth, and so we must abide them. What I think is kind of interesting, genuinely, is yeah, I'm clearly in the minority here. Actually, very painful. I voted for Group 2 on both. It doesn't matter. 2 votes is not going to be enough to save anybody here. So there's that. 3 and 4 were kind of contentious between Ian and JP, where Astra Genealogy was more popular in Japan. Makes sense, right? But Valentia was more popular in North America, I guess. Ian covers all North America, I think. So yeah, they kind of flipped there a little bit. Obviously, the number of votes total is what makes the big difference, and so between 9,000 votes and 16,000, almost 17,000 votes, there's a larger sway, which feels kind of bad. But that's how it goes. We were, however, very united in the fact that groups 1 and 2 would be the winners and losers here. Okay? So if you look at the JP account, Bride Fjorm Plus clearly wins it. Genealogy Astra comes in second. Fallen Valentia in third. Spring Whitewings in fourth. We're pretty similar, right? Bride Fjorm Plus winning. Spring Whitewings losing. Fallen Valentia, that's what this group is. My brain literally just broke. Fallen Valentia coming in second, and then, Astra Genealogy coming in third. So, similar vibes, but overall, everybody loves Fjorm. I guess that's the takeaway. Everybody hates Bala. Feels bad. No, I think genuinely what's on the banners in particular, just it makes more sense to go with this one. Now, I feel like a lot of people are maybe after Leg Yarn because she has a pretty good, she has a pretty good weapon refine, and I think Fjorm does too. But obviously, Bride Fjorm with her namesake weapon can, provide isolation support, which is kind of nice. So there's a couple reasons why this banner would win: popularity, effective units, stuff like that. Here, you pretty much just have a relatively good free-to-play unit, still to this day, I think, and then. Yeah, the BST and effective weapons and things like that, they're not that great. Spring Cadre is so old that her weapon refine has just not aged well, So it is what it is. I feel like these two coming back later makes a lot of sense. So yeah, this is what's winning. No one's shocked. But maybe you are, and if you are, let me know in the comments. And if you're not shocked, tell me which one you're going to Forma, because really there's no sense in voting in these unless you're going to Forma something. Unless maybe you picked one of the losers, in which case I am right there with you. Because I don't think I'm going to Forma anybody on this banner, unless I get like a sick leg yarn or a Fjorm. Nobody else I'm really that concerned with. But I do hope we see this one again, because I have a Forma Sonya, and there's a lot better skill options now for her as well. So yeah, good things. Anyway, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope that you learned something. Maybe. Probably not, but maybe. Anywho, happy Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow, maybe, if you're subscribed. If not, you may not know when tomorrow's video goes up. So you should definitely do that so that you know. It's important. Also, I looked at my metrics, and like 60% of you guys are not subbed that watch my videos, which has gone up, I think, which makes me a little sad. But that is neither here nor there. Thank you again, and until then, I will catch you next time.